Hey guys, it's Candice, and today I'm going to chat with you and show you a few things that are safe to do right after you have a baby. Now, when we as women go through pregnancy, your body goes through so many changes, and it's important to keep in mind that it took 9 months to get you to where you are right now, and it's going to take time to get you back to where you were those 9 months before, especially if you want to do it in the right way and not hurt yourself to where you are going to get injured or do something that's going to jeopardize your progress down the road. And it's important to remember that as hard as it is to just be okay with taking things slow, because we as women, I think a lot of us want results right now. We don't want to wait. We want to hit the ground running, and we're ready to start working out again and get that weight off. But you've got to do it in the right way. And part of that is just learning to really take a step back, enjoy the moment, enjoy where you are with your baby and what your body just did. And then also allow yourself the grace to really reconnect and really connect your body, if you will, mind and body together, and get everything kind of coming back together, activated, and really healing in the right ways. So I'm going to go over today 4 things that you can go ahead and do right after pregnancy to kind of get the ball rolling, that are safe and that will be effective as far as getting you back to where you want to be. All right, so first things first, if you've ever heard me talk before about postpartum or pre-pregnancy, pregnancy exercise, all that good stuff, you know that diaphragmatic and full 360 breathing is so important. And the reason why is because our diaphragm is where we should be really working when we breathe. It is what should be expanding and contracting and helping our lungs really fill up with air so that we are engaging all the right muscles and then relaxing them to not only help with when you're pregnant, for example, being able to get those deep breaths, but also to keep the right muscles in your core engaged and to help protect your spine. So your diaphragm and your pelvic floor kind of go together in a sense. So if you think about it, you've got your ribs here and your diaphragm is kind of right below those. Then you've got your core and then your pelvic floor. And all of those should essentially move together when you're breathing. And so we want to get those deep abdominal muscles really starting to fire again right after pregnancy. And the best way to do that is through diaphragmatic and full 360 breathing. And what I mean by that is when you inhale, you are not inhaling through your chest, you're inhaling through your diaphragm and letting your stomach and your back expand fully, and then exhaling and getting all that air out. And that is when you contract and really start to feel that core activated. And you want to make sure that also that you're not tensing up your pelvic floor at any point in time when you do this, but you're letting it move together. So when you're inhaling, your diaphragm is filling up, and then your exhale and your pelvic floor kind of moves up as you're exhaling and as you're contracting your core. So think of it as a big cylinder, if you will. So it kind of goes up and down, up and down, up and down as you inhale and exhale. And you want to really be sure that you're really breathing in and allowing that 360 breathing, that expansion through your ribs, through your diaphragm, because that's going to help with any tightness that you might have in your ribs, where you may have rib flare going on from just having that baby right there in your stomach and pressing into your ribs. So you want to practice about anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes a day of just deep breathing. And you can really break it up throughout the day, but just being conscious about what you're doing and just thinking about, okay, inhale, really filling up, and then exhale, all that air out, contracting. And when you inhale, You're not raising up like this. You can have some movement through the chest. That's not a bad thing. Like, you're going to have some movement there, but you want to make the majority of it all through here. And a good way you can practice is you can sit up against a wall. And when you inhale, you should feel that expansion in your back, and you should feel your spine kind of press against the wall that much more. And that's going to help really get those muscles relaxed a little bit more and then engaged at the right time, which is going to help pull things together when you have that separation in your core post-pregnancy. So the first thing you can do again is to deep breathe, aka diaphragmatic breathing, full 360 breathing, whatever you want to call it. Then we got number 2. Number 2 is going to kind of go along with that, and that is going to be doing quadrupled on your hands and knees, breathing and doing a cat-cow with it. So you're inhaling, letting everything expand, exhale, all that air out. But then you add in a cat-cow. Now when you do this, you want to make sure you're breathing through it. And if you feel anything, like as you're pressing that lower back and that back down, you want to make sure that you don't feel any tension or any really pull in your core. So as you're pressing down, if you feel a pull, don't go any further. And then inhale, or exhale rather, and let all that air come out as you round up. And this is just going to help loosen up and activate those muscles that much more along your spine, along your core, which is exactly what we want. So you can add that in a few times a day as well. Then third thing, you're going to move it up from there. Going to get into or start working on a bird dog. Now a bird dog is where you're on all fours and then you extend opposite arm and opposite leg. And you want to make sure that you're keeping a nice neutral spine, so you're not letting your neck go up like this. You're contracting your glute and you're just holding here, trying to balance with your hips square and your shoulders square as well. And just breathing, holding for about 5 breaths on each side, thinking about the same thing as you do. You're thinking about staying in that core, really inhaling and exhaling as you do. So you do 5 deep breaths on one side, then you switch and do 5 on the other. And this could be challenging for you right now, and that is okay. You just don't want to have any real pressure on your core. So you're breathing through your core, using your diaphragm to really get those muscles engaged. So doing that a few times a day is a great thing as well. Then you can also start working on those glutes and start working on getting more hip mobility as well, and that comes with bridges. So lay on your back, lifting up, but making sure that you're not pushing through anything that does not feel comfortable. So you want to make sure you keep your shoulders back, your hips are up, but everything's in a nice straight line. You're not arching your back, you're keeping everything engaged and good. And then you can hold it here and you can practice that deep breathing yet again. So deep breathing here, expand and contract, expand and contract. And you'll realize the more you do this deep breathing, the more natural it's going to be as you go about your day. And it's only going to help protect you as you start to get stronger and as you start to as you bend over to pick up the baby, as you go to do things, just normal everyday things, it's only going to help because your core is going to be that much more engaged, that much more activated. So you can do holds like that. You can do reps where you're breathing through as you lower down, exhale at the top, squeeze those glutes, trying to get them firing, get them awake, because a lot of times they might have fallen asleep during pregnancy, and that's okay. You have to give yourself the grace to know that it is okay to not be 100% right after you have a baby. You have to remember what your body just went through, and you've got to allow time to let it get back to where it was before. So those 4 things, we've got just deep breathing in general. Then you've got quadruple breathing with the cat-cow, bird dog, and bridges. Those 4 things are all safe to do right after pregnancy once you start feeling up and able. And walking is always a good thing too. Just nothing impactful. Just make sure that you're not overdoing it and think about what you're working when you do it. So adding those 4 things in a few times a week for the first few weeks postpartum are great, and that's a great way to really get you going in the right direction and making sure you're not overdoing it and you're only prepping yourself to be stronger long term. If you have any questions or need anything, be sure to hit me up. And if you want a free workout to do or a free grocery list, then hit the links below and be sure to share this with anybody who might find benefit from it.